think that's the housekeeping done. We are live. Just wait till get some people in because I realize the game is still going. People usually jump in as the game finishes. We've got a lot to say. A lot to say in a short amount of time. So I'm going to join my Sunday right from the sunrise here in Sydney. Right from the sunrise. Oh, whoa, whoa. All right, all right. We just went from 1 to 13 people just like that. That's exactly what I was waiting for. Now, my partner is fast asleep at the other end of the house. Fast asleep. So I only get one of these, and I'm going to do it properly. Joe! Come on! Let's go! This is what you call a statement. This is what you call a statement, bro. This is what you call a statement. The butterflies in my stomach weren't even there when I went to bed. So sorry for the scruffiness. I rolled out of bed at halftime. And about 30 minutes in, I rolled up, Vidal, crosses, or Perisic. Anyway, so I rolled out of bed at about halftime. 30th minute. I checked the score. It's 2-0. I'm like, wow, we look like we're on one today. To wake up again at halftime and to see 3-0 on the board, I thought to myself, this must be the sort of performance where I'll go back and do a full watch-along replay. I'm going to have to because what a game, and it's still 3-0. 91st minute. Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. Welcome to Inter Worldwide if you're here. And Inter is about to defeat Roma 3-0 in Rome. 3-0 in Rome. There's 18 people here. Let me know who you are, where you're from, coming through. If you're new, like the video, all that sort of fun and fancy stuff. I am G'd. I am G'd, man. This is fantastic. This is such a good result. I love it when you know for a fact that rival fans have gone to bed the night before or they're awake during the day and they've said a little sneaky prayer to Jesus. You know, they've said their inshallah for the day. Inshallah, Inter's going to lose. They're going to drop points. Please, God, please, Jesus. This is the day. They're going to Rome. Jose's going to sneak a 0-0 draw. Shut the fuck up. I've heard nothing all week, but Inter's going to drop points. Inter's going to drop points. Inter's going to drop points. You're all dropping your nuts. You're dropping your shit because we are putting clinics on under Inzaghi. This is good football. This is good football, man. Really good football. All right, let's go to some of the comments so I'm not missing out. Gerald, how you doing, my bro? It's always good to see you in here. Costas, Elare, it's good to see you here. Our brother Mo, salute. Gerald says Genoa and Salernitana are getting relegated 100%. Brother, you need to go and tune into Football Worldwide where I will talk all about Genoa and Salernitana. But today, I'm going to strictly keep it at Inter and only if I need to throw shit on other fans. All right, let's do that. It didn't bode well for Roma today. Benjamin, always with the jokes and always in quick. There's 16 people tuned into Inter Worldwide. And at 5:45 a.m. on a Sunday, how lucky and privileged and blessed am I to be blessed with this community. Barella is the best. When I watched the second half, I didn't even notice what he was doing. He got subbed off really, really early, didn't he? Sorry, guys. This is the second time this happened this season where we've had such a high-profile fixture, and I've absolutely seen none of it. And what's happened? Inter has gone and put on a clinic. Napoli and now Roma. Obviously, we didn't win by like a huge margin against Napoli, but we were brilliant for 75 minutes of it. Now I'm really excited. I've got a busy Sunday lined up, but can you guys let me know in the comments who's here? Who would be interested if I was to go back and do a live watch-along replay of the Roma game the same way I did against Napoli? I need to see this handshake between Jose and Inzaghi. Bravo. I hope Jose, we whispered something like, you're a title coach like the Scudetto's yours, something along those lines, something nice along those lines. You want to see something like that. Speaking of things that you really like to see, I really like to see that, and I really like to see
what's up, bro?
With a dope haircut and everything like that. Man, I woke up
in like 2 weeks. Hold on, let me get my headphones.
All right, no worries. We'll bring him back in a second. Like this sort of clinic that we just showed today, I've had my doubts this season when it's come to Inzaghi. I've had my doubts when it's come to him performing in big games. But now after Napoli and after Roma, I really don't think there's going to be any doubters left. And it's definitely shut up a few of the last rival fans that were really saying a sneaky prayer to Jesus last night, Christian, that we would drop points, but we didn't drop anything today, bro. And as I said just before you came on, I rolled out of bed at halftime, and I was doing these ones. I'm like, whoa, that looks really good. It's time to wake up. So how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you.
Great, amazing.
Great stuff. Great stuff, man. What did you think of it? So, like, you obviously saw the first half minute for minute. I didn't get to see it minute for minute. We were on from the get-go, weren't we?
Yeah, no, dude, we look good from the beginning. Bro, just 4 straight clean sheets, just to say that in all competitions.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. Defense looks like it's finally figured out. We look good attacking, and of course the midfield looks solid too.
Yeah. Man, I'm looking at the stats here on the side. I'm just seeing everybody had a really good game possession-wise. Everyone had a really good game touch-wise. Like Brozovic and Hakan, the way they're ticking, like technically at the moment, man, like this is really, really good to see. Like we've solved a problem we thought we were going to have for the whole year. Was Hakan really as good in the first half as everybody is saying, man? Because I can't wait to watch those 45 minutes back. I cannot wait.
Dude, he balled out. He was literally amazing. He was literally man of the match. Even though he didn't do anything second half, because we didn't do anything second half. Period.
We
We were
didn't need to, though, did we?
possessing the ball, just doing what we gotta do to maintain the win. That's it. But first half, oh my God, that goal, the Olympico at the Olympico, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the assist on the Zeko goal was he could have took the shot himself and said he cooked it back because Zeko had a better shot. Finish it. You gotta give him credit.
Dzeko with a goal against his former club, not celebrating because he's classy like that, but just overall, man, like everybody came to play today, and it was just so good to see. Now, as I said, man, I went to bed last night and slept through a lot of the pre-match talk as well. So, can you tell us, Christian, what was the reason Lautaro pulled out late in this match? Was it an injury or a sickness thing?
No. They were just letting him rush. He had what's it called? He was worn out. He was tired.
Cool. Happy to
They
hear
wanted
that.
to rest him. Yeah, he was on the bench though. He was on the bench. They
He was on the
let him
bench.
get some rest. We need him. We need him for this coming Wednesday against Madrid, or Tuesday. My bad. Tuesday against Madrid. I think we're gonna go for it. We should continue our 5-game streak. It'll be nice.
Yeah. No being nice, bro. We weren't nice today. No sympathy for Jose, that's for sure, bro. Now, like he didn't have much to work with in terms of his bench. You could see the quality, the gulf between the two sides was large, but that's what I mean. Like people need to recognize our talent. People need to recognize our depth. People need to recognize that this was a slow and steady build. Like I'm hearing a lot of like excuses and stuff starting to pour out from different sectors of the league, the country, the fans saying things like, oh, you guys have got the better players, the better bench. You guys are paying your players. I'm like, yeah, that's what good teams do. They build up stronger teams. Like, get out of here with the excuses.
Nobody ever said anything about Juve when they do it.
Exactly right, bro. So I'm really happy. I'm happy
That's how you build dynasties.
100%. I'm happy that there's 35 people here this morning with Inter Worldwide. Thank you very much. Christian, talk to us a little bit about the rest of the really good performers in the first half, like Perisic, Bastoni, Brozovic. I know everybody had a good one. How did Barella play, man? Like, I'm literally off the cuff. Don't know anything about the game.
He did good, but he got a yellow card that I don't think was a yellow card. So he's 1 yellow card away from a suspension. It was pretty nice to see the midfield. They were clicking very well. Brozovic was possessed. He played well. Perisic as well. Correa did well. Everybody did very well today. Correa came off with the late pull up, but I think it might just be a cramp or something small. So I mean, yeah, it could have been a bigger lead, but why? It's not necessary. You just got the 3 goals, cruise your way there, secure the 3-0, secure the bag. No point in trying to go out and get more and then open yourself at the back and let Roma get back in the game.
We didn't do that once, which was really good, apart from the time where everybody, even the scoreboard, changed to 1-3 towards the end. That was a little scary, but
the way they all celebrated, I was like, damn, that was rocking. And then you see it bounce off the wall, and you're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Zaniolo was probably the better performer in Roma today, although he wasn't fantastic. I always like Mkhitaryan. I've always got a lot of respect for his hustle between the lines, but it's a side that needs a lot of work, man. A lot of work. But for us, what people don't realize is we just keep opening that gap on the Champions League places. I know our goal is to win the Scudetto, but when you achieve something early, like qualifying for the Champions League, that's another boost, that's another spur on that you need throughout the season. So the more that we can do and accomplish, the easier it's going to be, because our fixtures coming up, man, they're winnable. They're very, very winnable fixtures. I expect us to really, at the very least, we'll only be trailing Napoli by the turn of the year, bro.
I do. I don't even think we'll be trailing Napoli. Remember them and Milan coming up. Napoli got Atalanta today.
Yeah.
Atalanta know they got to win to maintain, the keep up with the bunch. I could really see Napoli slip the third today. It's very plausible that they slipped the third. And then remember, Napoli got Milan coming up too, which is going to turn into a must-win game if they want to stay in the Scudetto hunt. And we can easily leapfrog both of them within by the end of the month. Come
Yep.
Christmas, I think we'll be in first. And as you remember at the beginning of the season when everybody was all doom and gloom, I was like, yo, like, relax. We're gonna be fine. I think we're gonna get the 20th Scudetto one way or another, whether it's by revocation from Juve or by us winning it on our own by our own merit this year. It's coming. Like, bro, nobody's on the same level as us this season. I talked to my cousin. He lives in Milan. He's a Milanista. We talk. He's like, bro, you guys just looked really good today. I think that's probably the best intro I've seen in a long, long, long time. Inzaghi ball looks to be miles better than Conte ball right now. It's very possessive, attackative. When we attack in droves. If you watch from when you watch at the beginning of the game, man, Roma parked the bus. Like they had 8 players in the box, 9 players in the box. Whenever we were trying to attack, but we looked good. We attacked very well. We defended very well. They never really threatened us at all game. Their shots, most of them were from outside the box. The one time they did get in the box, we handled it very well. So again, it was just an all around good performance from everybody. Dumfries definitely needs to get a shout. He played very, very well. A lot
Yeah.
of people, always criticize him, man. He pulled the Flying Dutchman today and got a beautiful goal.
Yeah. Awesome. Hakan, man of the match for Benjamin. What's going on to someone in Connecticut coming through for the first time? Nice to hear from you. Donfy's first goal for Inter was a banger. I did actually manage to see the
Yeah.
goals. I very quickly watched a few gifs before I came on. Just fantastic composure. Like the goals that we're scoring, Christian Rivas, they're very, very good looking goals, man. Like these are tactical goals. I haven't seen Inter play this well in a long time. Like under
Oh, yeah.
Conte, there was a certain focus I hadn't seen in a long time, but it was systematic. What I'm seeing here under Inzaghi is not only technically systematic to an extent, but also free for these players. And they're
Yeah.
very expressive at the moment. Like you're seeing very positive forward movement from all of our players, bro. Like we don't have a defensive bone in our body. You've got Bastoni, for fuck's sake, coming up to defensive mid like 60% of the time. He's a protagonist for attacking play. Everybody at Inter goes forward. It's really refreshing.
What with that being said, though, also if you watch it when you watch the game, you'll see Brozovic change back and defends a lot. Same as
Mm,
Hakan, and that goes to the last game one or 2 games ago when Hakan yelled at DeMarco for DeMarco pressing so high and not letting nobody know. Hakan yelled at him and was like, "Yo, you're leaving holes in the back. Like, what are you doing? If you're gonna go up, at least let one of us know." The whole team was forward except for I think Ranocchia on the back line by himself. But it's things like that, when you see these Bastonis and these DeMarcos go forward, it's refreshing to see the Hakan Çalhanoğlu's and the Brozovic's recognizing that and hanging back and becoming that third defender while these guys attack. Because on that ball, on the third goal, it was a very nicely placed ball by Bastoni. It was very nice. He moved up a lot throughout the game too.
yeah, fair enough. We've hit the half century. There's 51 people tuned
Yo,
into
my
Inter
boy Vitali,
Worldwide.
what's up, bro?
Vitaly's here. Good to hear from you, my
That's my
man.
boy.
And good to hear from 50 people here on Inter Worldwide this morning. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Make sure you like the video when you're coming through. Mustafa says he's loving this Inter. 3 of the 4 signings this season have all scored. That's a really good stat as well. Nick Knox says, I'm blown away. I missed the first half. I regret it so much. That's okay. Just watch it back. Hakan goal fire. Zaniolo confusing everybody with that shot. Uncle Moore gave us the win. Nah, bro, he's got no tools in his tool shed. But at the end of the day, typical negative Mourinho performance, thinking he could snake a 0-0 or something from us, Christian.
Yeah, no, dude, I hate to say it, but I was talking to my boy Liam and Will, and I was just like, yo, Mo's burnt, bro. He's done. I've
Mm,
said this since he signed to Roma. I was like, yo, you going to Roma after Tottenham, bro? It's like they're saying you're washed up now. Like it's official, you're washed up. And it's sad to say because he is a good coach or was a good coach, but he's one of those coaches that never evolved with the time. He never progressed while the rest of football left them behind.
Hmm.
But it
It's a
is
fact
what
at
it
the end of
is.
the day. Yeah. Credit goes to Inzaghi. All the new players have scored. Yeah, bar one, I think, man. But yeah, all credit to Inzaghi, man. He really, really has outperformed or out exceeded my expectations this quickly so far. Faces 70-30 possession, 2 games in a row with tiki taka goals. We're watching prime Barca. We're watching good
Yep.
football, man.
But you got to give Inzaghi so much credit because remember everybody was criticizing him for big games. Well, Roma's considered a big game. Napoli's considered a big
Yeah.
game. That's two
Yep.
in a row. Watch him. If we pull this win off in Madrid against Madrid,
Ooh.
and we finish top of the group, you got to give Inzaghi credit. I personally would love to see us beat Madrid in Madrid just to quiet all these Madrid fans up. I got a lot of
I know
Madridistas
you got a
out
lot of
here,
them.
but it would be nice and refreshing to finish top of our group. And my boy David was telling me he was like, bro, like with the way Inzaghi got us playing with the right reinforcements, we can actually go pretty far in the Champions League. He
Yeah.
was like, don't be surprised next year if we do. I, the only player I could really realistically see us lose would be De Vrij. As much as I wouldn't, I would be mad. I wouldn't want it to happen. But look at how we're doing right now without it. Ranocchia steps in, he does a hell of a game. D'Ambrosio steps in, DeMarco steps in. We have a lot of players that are stepping up right when we need to. And this goes all into the conversation you were saying. We got depth now for the first time. Oh shit.
Bro, how long have you been waiting in the room? Because I've been doing something else in the background. Were you waiting long?
I've just been waiting there for like 7 minutes with a smile on my face.
Bro, I'm so
No,
sorry,
That's
no,
a
man.
I'm
Just
beautiful
joking. I'm
smile.
joking. I just literally
uh,
just came in.
all good, all good. Uncle Shama in the house doing his live in about 10 minutes or so time. Bro, just give us your thoughts, man. Talk about statements. My God.
Bro, that was crazy. Like, I mean, maybe I don't know if I was giving Mourinho too much credit or this Roma team too much credit, but these guys got whipped. I don't know. I don't know if I want to give like Inter credit or do I want to like criticize Mourinho and his tactics because that was like getting embarrassing. Like we literally had to put the handbrake on in the second half. I mean, what a performance! Like that was complete domination. This is probably the most impressive performance I've seen away at the Olympico in my lifetime. I don't know about you guys.
I think this is probably one of the best inters we've seen in a long time. And just to
Mhm.
say this, I gotta give you credit because a lot of people were writing off Dumfries. We had this conversation where you kept saying that Dumfries gets himself in the right positions. I watched one of your videos and you're like, the good thing about Dumfries is everybody's criticizing his finishing and everything, but the point is he's getting himself in those
Yeah,
positions from a tactical standpoint. You get yourself in that position, you don't finish this time, but eventually it's gonna come. Eventually you're gonna find yourself and you're getting better, and it is what it is. But you got to give the man his credit. You got to give him credit. Hakan has just been a man possessed lately. I know you were one of the big proponents on defending him because a lot of people were criticizing him, and you're like, yo, he's getting used to a new system. You got to understand, give the man time. And I think, like Hakan is looking better under us than he did ever at Milan. And it's because look at the midfield he's in. Brozovic and Barella. Now it's not all dependent on him to create. Barrella's leading in assists. He's one of the top players with assists. It just all goes into what we're doing right now. It's crazy.
hey man. And then all the three signings today scoring: Dzeko, Dumfries, and Hakan. So the three signings that came in the summer. Of course, they all had big shoes to fill. And especially Dzeko, man. So happy to see him score against the old club. I'm sure you guys talked about it, but doing the respectful celebration as well. Obviously, didn't expect anything different from Dzeko, classy guy, but still, the Roma fans. I could hardly even hear them. I mean, I can't blame them, but I didn't even hear them booing like because I had Wayne, the Roma fan, on my match preview, and he was like, Dzeko's gonna get booed, like he's gonna get, really gonna get bad reception. But I barely heard the Roma fans throughout the whole match. Like it was,
Well,
I
they
mean,
booed his like first two, three touches, and that was
yeah,
it.
I heard
yeah,
That
the
was
Inter
it.
fans booed. I heard the Inter fans booed Kumbula. Like talk about how petty that is, man. There's like a
did
Kumbula
they?
chant that went around. Yeah, there was like a chant that went around as well. I was reading that in one of the groups in Italian. I don't know, man. I'm like, how petty is that, bro? It was the guy even
Oh
in the
wow.
stadium?
If
Hey
anything,
man,
they should have.
some
They should
people
have
out there
sent
wanted to
applause.
sell Skriniar for Kumbula or Milenkovic. There's people out there that did exist.
That's it, man.
If
That's
anything,
it.
they should be applauding that Roma took Juan Jesus from us.
And now it's Napoli's
Anton,
problem,
that
bro.
rushes.
All the above. Yo, Sharma, who's your man of the match, man?
Bro, once again, man, I think it has to be Hakan once again, man. Like this guy is just like non-stop. I don't think I've ever given so many man of the matches in a row to someone. Like this guy is just continuously uh like goal and an assist, but not just that, like everything else that he's doing. Like he's doing everything. He's like a complete midfielder at the moment, like tackling, tracking back, interceptions. I can't ask anything more from the guy. Like, what more can we ask from Hakan? Just the consistency. Like, how long can he keep this going? Let's see. Let's see how long he
Yeah.
can keep it going.
Yeah, yeah. I'm conscious of you needing to head off. So Napoli, Atalanta. Let's talk a little bit about that. Christian, you reckon Atalanta steals some points today? I mean, they've got the form over
Yeah,
Spalletti. Yeah.
I think Atalanta gets a big win today. I think they put Napoli on the heels, and then when Napoli faces Milan, Napoli's gonna have to pull the win to stay relevant.
Sharma, what do you reckon?
Oh, it's a hard one to call. Atalanta, they're always like difficult to predict. Like sometimes they run through teams like a train. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think Atalanta can do it, Like Pasalic is in that amazing form that he seems like everything he touches turns into a goal. And obviously Napoli have got a few injuries. Koulibaly's out, so that's a big miss for
Yeah,
them, and Osimhen. So yeah, I think Atalanta can do it.
yeah.
Watch, it's gonna be 34, 36, 37, 38 at the table.
Man,
All
this
right.
race is gonna be really this is gonna be the most interesting race in Europe for sure.
I'm gonna
I
tell you
think
this though.
so.
I think we close it by match day 4. 4 days left to go. We're gonna have this Scudetto because Pioli's not the type of coach. Like that's what's holding Milan back. If you want me to be real, like Pioli, he's just not the type of coach to finish it. And the same thing as Spalletti. Like Spalletti, he starts out hot every year and then he fizzles out. And come January with Osimhen gone and then the other players leaving for Afcon, I think Napoli's gonna suffer from that. And Atalanta's just Atalanta. Like they're a good top 4 team. I know at the beginning of the year I called Juve finishing up in the top 4, but with everything going on over there, I think I'm gonna finally be wrong with that prediction.
Yeah, true. Sharma,
Hey man,
thanks.
I got the Juve one very wrong. I gave Allegri way too much credit for sure.
Bro, as long
To
as long
me, it
as you
wasn't
just
just
keep with
Allegri.
the, as long as you keep with the Twitter with the what's it called, with the Dancing with the Stars clip, man, it gets better every time, bro. I keep watching the whole thing, the whole 2.5 minutes, man. Sharma, anything you want to say before you dip off to your own channel and make sure people are migrating there when we exit into worldwide?
No, all good, man. You guys can stay on with you guys as well. No, man, this is limoncello bowl, man. This is limoncello bowl. Like, let's keep drinking this lovely, lovely limoncello. Inzaghi's cooking, and let's see. I'm confident about the Real Madrid game going into Real Madrid. He rotated really well as well today. I'm
Yeah, he
happy with his
did.
rotation.
All right, so one question before you leave: Inzaghi ball or Conte ball? Which one are you liking the most right now?
Bro, the Inzaghi ball, hands down. Like this is so enjoyable. Like even when we weren't doing that well at the beginning of the season, this team is good to watch. Like on the eye, it's very pleasing on the eye. Conte's team, that last 6 months was good, but that first, there were times where this team was quite painful to watch on the Conte. Let's not lie.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one thinking that because Inzaghi ball has been very refreshing. So
it
I don't
has.
Exactly,
feel
bro.
too bad.
Peace
Thank you,
out,
Seal.
everyone.
Ciao, man.
Ciao.
All right,
Franco says, hope the Correa injury is not serious. I don't think it was too serious. The guy was walking off the pitch. It's a good time for him to get a rest as well. We've got the Christmas break coming up, even though the Christmas break won't be as lengthy as it was in recent years. As we've said before, we're still catching up from January 2020 COVID football. But in terms of our fixtures coming up, Christian, man, it's we can really stamp our authority on this Scudetto race. We've come out of a period where we knew we had Milan, Napoli, and Roma, the either side of winnable games. But we've got through that with 7 out of 9 points, bro. And no one can make excuses because we should have come out with 3 in the derby. We know that, bro. Cagliari, Salernitana, Torino, Bologna, and then Napoli. And then Lazio at home. I mean, how can we get 15 points there? Right there. I'll say it one more time for you. Cagliari, Salernitana, Torino, Bologna, Lazio at the San Siro. That's 15 potential points, man.
so I'm gonna tell you this: the only game that worries me is Torino because it's Torino. I still
Yeah,
think we're gonna pull off. We're gonna pull off all 15. I think that it's gonna be a 4-0 against Lazio. Like I think these players are gonna be out for blood against Lazio after what happened over at the Olimpico. No, the disrespect that was given at home. I think it's gonna be a warm reception from the Curva and from the fans, and then I think the players are just gonna go out to stomp them. I think
yeah.
it's gonna be 15 out of 15. I'm telling you, bro. Right now, it's gonna be a big. Oh wow, they're talking about Juve on TV, the capital gains investigation. I'll
What are they
listen to it.
saying? Before that, can I just say a really big thank you to 64 people? There's 64 people on the channel now. So make sure you like the video because that's great. 64 is great. Thank you. What are they saying about the capital gains, Christian? And guys, if you're watching, look for the comments. I'll bring your comments up on the bottom.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano is talking about it right now on CBS. So hold on, keep talking. I'm gonna come back and tell
Yeah,
you in a
yeah,
second.
cool, cool. This is good content. I'm going to mute you for about 1 minute. Yeah, my man, thank you. So Franco says Hokurea injury is not serious. Indra Hardy is in the chat. I'm going to give a shout out to people that are here. King Abdullah, Sub-Zero. We got Alpa Fena. I've never seen you before. Welcome if you're new. Hakan showed that he's a corner kick specialist. Absolutely, Future Hendrix is back. Musti, salam alaikum, brother. The Balkan Warrior is here. Rabi, good to see you. The Game Man NZ is also back. And Kamal Hassan is here from Jakarta. Nix Knox was in the chat as well. Shout out to you. Still 56 people here right now, which is great. King Abdullah, so we changed our training ground to the Olimpico. Very, very good. Amira, welcome. Dominant into Brook Roma. They did. I can hear Chelsea calling Inter requesting a refund for Lukaku. He came on at 2-1. Are you serious? And the match ends 2-3 West Ham. Are you joking? That's hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. Shout out to Big Rom the Strong. I bet he's really, really loving that move, seeing us ball out. Same with our former coach. I lost the last comment that we were at, didn't I? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, man, I think I lost the comment. My bad. Lost where we were up to. Yo, Christian, come back. Unmute yourself, man.
Yeah, I just did. All right, so let me meet that. So Fabrizio Romano was saying the same, pretty much what we all said. He said something very serious. We won't know to the extent of the damage that's going to go to Juve. He is like, but they're going to wait for the investigation to come out. But there's just a lot of info out there and a lot of stuff going against Juve. And he said a lot of clubs are involved as well, like Genoa, and it's going to be a big thing. I think they're going to really end up getting relegated again. They're like dead serious in Italy about this, and they said the thing that people are failing to understand. I think Napoli are going to get really hit with this too because the thing, man, I wish Mario was here for this because we were talking about this and we were like, yo, like this one is serious, especially the Napoli one because Napoli would get players that were like City D, and they'll rate them at like 10 million, 15 million euros. That's why UEFA is even investigating the whole Marseille deal for Osimhen. Because with the deal for Osimhen, it was 60 plus a couple players that they rated at 10 to 15 million. And these players, where are they now? They got cut by Marseille, and they're playing in City D and City Chi. These aren't like Inter when we were selling players like Bonazzoli or
Yeah.
Duncan, that they're all still playing in City A and City B at the farthest, but most of the players that we sold from that Glory Primavera team, all like the valuations were right at 10, 15 million. Because look at their valuations now. Duncan right now, who's balling for Fiore and balled for Sassuolo and balled for Torino, he's worth about 30 million on the transfer market. Same as Benassi. We have a lot of these players that we sold at 15, 10 million, and they're actually balling out in
Meanwhile,
City A and City
Juve
B.
are inflating players up to the 2022 million mark, and they've barely taken the field.
Exactly, and also not just that. The whole Arthur and Pjanic deal was illegal, allegedly. So that's another thing that's being looked at as well. The valuations were obscured by both clubs, but La Liga has nothing to do with Serie A, so we can't investigate Barcelona for that. That's up to Liga if they want to go after them. But allegedly, that was a whole illegal transfer that shouldn't have happened. That Juve did some real plus Valencia stuff on that. and I'm gonna come right back to you because Fabrizio's saying some other stuff. Hold on.
Absolutely. Thanks, bro. Musti says one rule in life, never listen to a Milan fan. Hakan is unstoppable right now. And thanks to the 45 people that are still here on Inter Worldwide, we're going to stick around for a little bit longer. Balkan Warrior says we need a draw from Napoli and Atalanta. I think at the very least, Napoli drops at least a couple of points. Yes, Christian.
Here's a big one. Here's a big one. So Fabrizio Romano just stated that one of the big ones they're looking at is Rovella from Juve to Genoa. They were saying that Genoa is very happy because he was off 6 months, and somehow they got some big transfer value for him, even though he was leaving in 6 months. So instead of leaving on free, which he would have, they got a lot of money for him, and there was just a lot of money going back and forth between Torino, Juve, but I mean Juve, Genoa. It's just the teams, if I'm not mistaken. Let me mute this because it's messing me up. The teams that I'm not mistaken that are under investigation was Atalanta, Roma, Napoli, Sampdoria, Genoa. Those are the
Yeah.
5 clubs that are going to be hit the hardest from this, and they're the ones that are really under investigation. I remember somebody was trying to go around saying that Inter were, but Inter weren't. They were talking about the Radu going back and forth between both clubs, but you got to remember something. Inter sold Genoa to for Inter sold Radu to Genoa for 19 million, and we bought him back for 21. So it's not
Yeah.
like the plus balance there, where
Yeah.
what Juve was doing was inflating the numbers. Another thing people need to understand about the whole Juventus thing is that Juve are not a private owned club.
They're
Juve
publicly listed
are
on the stock market.
exactly, and
This
their
is what
stock is
this
only
is what
worth
my
like
friend
20
Armando
something.
said on our Football Worldwide channel during the week. He was saying this is the biggest difference. This is a public shared company. It's not privately owned.
And that's the thing people are failing to realize when you're a private company, you don't have to disclose none of your dealings. You don't
Yeah.
have to. You don't have to, but when you're a public company, you have to disclose every single deal that you've made, every single sale. Everything has to be out there for people to see.
Yeah.
Juve was hiding it. Juve doesn't want to release those papers. And they were saying that a lot of the Juve, the people that are called in were called in for 9 hours in investigation. Like you're in there for 9 hours. Obviously you're talking. They were also saying the same that Patracci is going to be called back. There's going to be a warrant for him if he doesn't come back to the investigators to meet because it's a legitimate investigation. And some of these people are looking at jail time.
Bro, like
They say
every
it's not a crime. It is a crime because when they were talking about Milan and Inter back in 2008, it was a
Yep.
whole different situation. It was a
Yep.
whole different ballgame. You can't compare a public company to a private company. On top of that, UEFA investigated and they found nothing wrong. But this
Yep.
whole Juve deal is completely different, and the laws were changed recently to sit there and prevent things like what happened in the past with Milan and Inter, with the whole how they were selling players and buying players and stuff like that. It's completely different. You can't really compare to what happened. That's what a lot of these Juve fans are trying to do is to compare the situation. You can't compare the situation when you're a public owned company. When you can go and buy the stock as a stock owner, if I buy a Juventus stock, I'm supposed to have access to every single thing that Juventus is doing. That's supposed to be released to all the shareholders. It wasn't. A lot of the stuff they were doing was backdoor channel things. And the big thing that they're talking about, Ronaldo's going to be probably a warrant's going to be set out for Ronaldo and his agent Mendes, because there's a big thing that they were saying in the papers is that the whole secret document that Juve had with him. There's a secret document out there, and on the wiretaps that were put out there on these guys, they talked about the secret document that was with Ronaldo that has to do with a lot of the money, and like allegedly some money was funneled to him under the table. And you remember when COVID was going, he sat there and he said that he wasn't going to take his wages. You remember when all the players said that they'll forego their wages? Well,
Yep.
allegedly
Yep.
there's some stuff under there saying that Ronaldo really didn't forego the wages. It was all under the table. So now the Italian government is involved because of the fact that this could be tax evasion, money laundering. So it's a
Very
lot, dude.
interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
That's why when
crazy.
I see the Juve fans trying to like blow it under the rug and say that a lot of clubs are doing this. We're like, no, not a lot of clubs are doing this. Literally, you've got stories coming out every day that implicate you for so much more than just inflating your capital gains. It's really not just that.
Well, remember, if you look in the last 30 years, Juventus has been under investigation for doping. They've been under investigation for match fixing, and now they're under investigation for
Remember,
financial
even
issues.
didn't Suarez even come out and say in the last 2 months that I cheated on the test? Like, the guy's full blown confessed now.
Yeah, no, he straight up said that he cheated to get his Italian citizenship. So it's funny to me because I think all that is probably going to come out in this investigation because that legitimately was fraud. You're frauding the system. You're frauding people that are going about it the right way to get their Italian citizenship, and you're saying there you're cheating the system. I don't care who you are. That privilege for you as a player, no. And like you go about it like everybody else.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's crazy. And if anybody has Netflix, all right, if you have Netflix, look up the show on there, Bad Sport, and watch the Juventus episode called Chocolate, or as they call it, Soccer Gate. You watch the whole episode on that, and it makes you kind of mad that La Repubblica blew this up before they got to finish their investigation because of the fact that the prosecutors on there were like, there was so much more that Juve did. And there was so much more that Juve did that if La Repubblica didn't blow the lid on this, if somebody didn't throw the investigation out there beforehand, there would have been a lot more, and we could have legitimately seen Juve go to City D for the stuff that they were doing. And Mogi was guilty. I don't care what anybody says. This whole statute of limitation thing in Italy is a joke. It's a farce.
Yep.
5 years, complete joke. That's something so simple to say that I can go and commit a crime, and then 5 years later I can be like, yeah, I did it, but you can't do nothing about it because it was 5 years ago.
Indra Hari says, agree with Mustafa. Juve at max getting hefty fine. No way Juve getting relegated. But guys, listen to what's being said and listen to what's coming out. And what I want to add is like, I don't know the ins and outs more so, but what I do know is like I can see when corruption has lost its hand, when the mafia loses its grip. It's very obvious. Agnelli does not have the pull that he had in the last 3 to 5 to 9 years. It's very obvious. If he did have the same pull, Juve would not be in the position they are in. Not only that, there is disruption from. Yeah, exactly, bro. That's the thing. When he's done, like Juve will be back. Don't worry about this whole Agnelli experiment. It's done with the club.
This is the thing that people, all right, so people got to understand, like, I get what you're saying, because Agnelli, the person that commented, Agnelli is the closest thing to a royal family you'll get in Italy. Italy doesn't have a royal family, but Agnelli's the next big thing to that, all right? So listen to what I'm telling you. When you do tax evasion and money laundering, now you're frauding the government. The government's not going to play that, all right? The government's not going to play that. And the thing is that UEFA is involved in this too. So it's a type of thing where they got to send a message across, and Juve, it's not the first time. At this point, these dudes have frauded the system before with the whole referee, match fixing thing. Now they're frauding the system when it comes to money, the financial fair play. We all had to go through financial fair play. Us in Milan and Roma, we were all severely punished for financial fair play breaches. Now you're going to tell me that Juve can get away with this? Not a chance. They're going to get punished. I think they're legitimately going to get relegated. And it's sad to say because then this is another black eye on Italian football again.
Yeah.
And people are going to say, well, how many of those Scudettos are legitimate? 9? No, maybe 7 of them. And the reason was because all the other Italian clubs were going through issues with the plus balance, right? That's why we were all sitting there dealing with financial fair play. So while we deal with financial fair play, Juve can fraud the system and cheat the system. I would love to see them get relegated and that Scudetto stripped and passed down to where it belongs because we lost by 1 point. We lost the Scudetto by 1 point.
Musti, I get what you're saying. The difference between the scandal and the match fixing one
no,
is
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no, no.
it doesn't. But what Christian's trying to,
it does affect it.
It does, but even
you can't
more
register
so,
those players.
Yeah, but even
you
more
can't
so,
register players.
what this does, Mustafa, is like this has a domino effect to the entire publication of Juventus as a brand, as a club with the shareholders. This isn't about Lumoji calling a couple of referees and having a couple of bribes on the side. This is a domino effect on the books to their share price, to their investors. People need to know Agnelli does not own Juve. He's not the owner. He is the CEO. He is the chairman. But at the core, this club has shareholders. Elkan are the investors. They will strip the money from Agnelli and ask him to move. People were the Juve fans that were throwing shade on Inter in the offseason saying, haha, you guys have restrictions on the Chinese and the investment. Bro, that 400 mil capital gains injection that you got, that's not Agnelli's money. That's a loan. You need to pay that back. You still owe 92 million on Locatelli, on Chiesa, on Morata, on Ken.
Okay,
That's
Mustafa, to go into your comment, it is. Because you got to remember something rules, okay? If a player is illegal, which they have players that shouldn't have transfers, shouldn't have happened. If you put a player on the field that isn't supposed to be on the field, what happens? You dock 3 points, automatic forfeit, okay? So if I give you an example, Arthur and the whole Arthur deal with Barca is illegal. So now go look at every single game Arthur played, and you deduct 3 points from it. You deduct 3 points from it. See, that's the thing that you guys are failing to understand from a financial standpoint. You guys think it's just about the money and the laundering it. No, it's not just that. You have players registered that the transfers shouldn't have been done because they were illegal transfers. So once those transfers are considered illegal and deemed illegal, you dock 3 points. So it does have an on the field effect because these players wouldn't have been able to play for Juventus at that point. You got to look at the whole, let's just say De Ligt's transfer is on there. Let's just say it's on there, right? Okay, so now you go back to the games that De Ligt played and you subtract 3 points from every single game that he played for Juventus because of the fact that he's considered illegal.
I think a lot of Juve,
it's a forfeit.
I've heard a lot of Juve fans say that we did the same sort of thing with players like Hakimi and Lukaku because we didn't pay for them in full or we subsidized their wages. How do we explain that?
No, there's a difference. When you pay installments, that's how most football teams do it. They play installments. So we'll say this. When we did the transfer with Lukaku, okay, it was 90 mil or whatever it was, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. 90 mil in installments. So we paid 10 million at once, 10 million again in 6 months, 10 million in another year. So now you're just knocking it down in installments. It's not
and this was all,
you're not paying the 90 mil.
And this was all agreed upon between two private entities before COVID.
Exactly. And it's between two private clubs. Now, also, you guys got to remember something about the Hakimi situation is when we didn't pay that installment to Madrid, all the papers were saying that we would have to give Hakimi back. Madrid put out a public statement on their website saying that this is all false fabrications and they'll go after those papers because there was a deal agreed upon between both private entities, between both clubs, that the payments will be deferred because clubs are allowed to do that. So what did we do? We sold players to get that capital and then we paid our installments. There's a difference, okay? I'm going to give you a prime example right now with Sporting Lisbon. They're under investigation by UEFA for not paying some installments on players to the point that UEFA is talking about banning them for financial fair play because of the whole COVID thing. All right? Different. They didn't pay. Inter ended up paying those by selling Lukaku and selling Hakimi. We got the funds to pay those balances off. So the debt is gone. We don't owe them no more. What Juve did was different. Juve included players to generate money. So they would sell a player from their Primavera that is not good to, let's just say, Genoa or Sampdoria for 15 million. Genoa and Sampdoria would get that player, they would cut him, and that player would be playing at City D or City cheap. So there's a huge difference there. You're including players to deflate the whole thing. The whole Arthur and Pjanic swap. Juve valued Pjanic at a different price from the market valuation. And Juve never put that information out there at the valuation, and neither did Barcelona. The difference is Barcelona is a private company. No, they're not. They're public. Yeah, so they're probably going to be under investigation as well too, because their stakeholders have a vote in their presidency every year. Every 4 years or 5 years, whatever it is.
Real
So
Madrid
point
are a public
one,
company. Are a public company as well, aren't they? Oh no,
I
they
don't
operate
think
as.
they're
I'm pretty
public.
sure they operate as private. I'm pretty sure they operate as
Yeah.
private.
But
Mm,
Barcelona, they have actual like stakeholders and people that can buy shares, and then they vote. They vote something crazy like that. But I remember this came out on Sports Bible and a couple other websites where they were saying the whole Arthur and Pjanic swap was deemed illegal, and it should have never happened. So now you
yeah.
gotta look at all those games in Italy that this player played in, and you got docked 3 points. Wasn't it a couple seasons ago? Roma played with a player that shouldn't have been playing, and then they got a forfeit.
Last season, I think it was actually round 1 or round 2 last season against Hellas Verona. Was it against
Yep,
Hellas or was it 2 seasons ago against Kiev? It was definitely against one of the Veronas. I think it was against
the
Hellas.
Veronas.
And I think the biggest story point after that was that the guy who was responsible for making the mistake actually got the sack and ended up working at
Yep.
Verona like a month later. Solo Italia, man, honestly. Oh my God.
Yeah, but you know what? But you know what? Though that goes to the whole conversation that Mustafa was saying was that has nothing to do with the field. Well, I just showed you a point in reference that it does have something to do with on the field performances. Because now you got players that shouldn't be playing for the club, and that are being bought with money that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can't register the players. They shouldn't register the players.
We're going to go to a few comments and then we're going to head off because I don't know what Christian's plans are, but at 6:45 a.m. I'm
Call of
snuggling
Duty,
up and watching that Napoli Atalanta. What are you up to today?
probably Call of Duty, and then I got to
Cool.
go take Christmas pictures for my son.
That's nice, man. Very nice. XMB says, I hope that they will get a heavy punishment. Musti says, do you think if Juve gets suspended for 2-3 seasons from making transfers will be enough punishment? For me, that's what I think will happen. I think if they go to court and they say, all right, we can't relegate these dudes, let's just give them a 2-year transfer ban because they'll sink with that
But you
anyway. Look at their
can.
books.
But the thing is, you can, and you also got to remember who's the one that's asking for the relegation is the ones that work with the Italian Olympic Committee. So this is all part of the sport. They're the ones asking for it. What I think is going to happen is they probably will get relegated for how big this scandal is, and I think that they'll get a small transfer ban. At the very least, they're getting a transfer ban. At the very least.
Yeah.
But I do think that they may really, may really see themselves get relegated for this. And it's just, again, I think that the Italian authorities just have had enough Agnelli.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's just exhausted his allocation with everybody. Christian, man, what a pleasure it was to tee up with you post-match. 3 huge points, our biggest 3 points of the campaign. We'll tee up again soon, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think everybody should go see that conversation you had with Armando. They get a better understanding. And it's not that one that I'm talking about. It's the one that you did a couple months ago where he called it. Remember, he said that Juve was gonna have a rude awakening when the authorities come after them because of the stuff they're doing. I
Yeah,
I want to say it was like last year, but
it
you
was.
told me to go look at it. You
I
said
think
go
it was.
watch it, and he's gonna blow up. He's gonna blow the whole thing up. This is all gonna blow up in Agnelli's face.
Yeah, I think this was. I don't think. I think it was early this year, just before the Euros was on. But yeah, man, that was a good conversation. But yeah, I'm keeping my eyes peeled, bro. It's a good one, and we'll tee up soon, bro, because we've got a lot of games coming up.
All right, deuces later to my boy Vitali, Will, Liam, everybody else, King Darian. I will catch you all later. Have a nice day.
Peace. Thank you so much, my brother. All right, guys, before we go, I just got to make sure that we're doing a little bit of housekeeping here on Interworldwide. Thank you so much to everybody that is still tuned in and joining us. There's still 40 people here, which is absolutely awesome. You got to love that. You really got to love to see that. We're still always growing here on Interworldwide, always wanting to make sure that we slides. Ooh, they've added a new element on StreamYard, Google Slides. I've been like sharing my tab for this the whole time. I am definitely checking that out. That is awesome. Really, really good. All right, guys, not only is Interworldwide and Football Worldwide growing, but we've got a few more people here in our fantasy league for Interworldwide. 58 members. The code is on the screen. Serie A Fantasy. Make sure you are checking it out. I'm still coming in strong at third. I'm looking to climb there. Serie A Fantasy prizes to be won. PlayStation 5s, team jerseys, common leagues that you can get into. Who do they have in their dream team? this last week. Martinez got 14 points. Beto, did everybody see his goal for Udinese? That was hot. This dude right here, keep an eye on him, Coop Miners. I said at the start of the season, he's a low-key amazing signing for Atalanta. He came from Dutch side. He's the captain of AZ Alkmaar. And anybody that captains a Dutch side has really got a sort of discipline that you don't find very often anywhere else. And a big shout out to Denzel Dumfries as well, because I said it, at the very least, you're signing the captain of PSV. The guy's going to be a baller no matter what. Guys, that's going to be it for Inter Worldwide. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Sign up to Serie A Fantasy and Football Worldwide, all that fun stuff. Ciao, ragazzi.